along with us here. 8 in the books, 8 a swim. Hopefully you got a chance to shower and get that all off of you. Get the seaweed and
fish, algae, and whatever else is in there.
All of it. Here's the standings after the swim. Dallin Pepper holding on to his lead, growing his lead with his performance in the swim. 562 points overall. Ethan Elwell from Guam has surpassed Noah Casey, who came into the day as Pepper's closest chaser. All right, let's talk about event number 9. It's a chipper.
And it looks nasty. So we got 30 deficit handstand push-ups, so 4.5 inches for these young lads. Then 40 deadlifts. That is going to be at 225. 50 calories on the Concept 2 bike, which we have seen for the first time now. And then something awesome to finish, 60 bar-facing burpees. Their time cap of 16 minutes, and it looks quite horrible.
The Concept 2 bike erg, too, by the way. We'll get into it.
Oh, yeah.
Not something you see a lot in CrossFit, so keep that in the back of your mind filed away. Here's your lane assignments. First and foremost to begin with, Dallin Pepper as your leader is in lane 10. We have seen a lot of people in the age group pavilion come from the outer lanes. Lanes 17, 18, 19, 1, 2, 3, 4. So keep your eyes peeled because you're never quite sure exactly where your leaders or your winners could come from, including Vincent Ramirez, who was victorious in event 7 here inside the age group pavilion this morning. And Vincent Ramirez shouldn't be a surprise. He's won a games championship before, the 14-15 age division in 15, but that is his last year. Broken hip, strained triceps, torn tendon in the shin, 2 jaw surgeries that included the jaw being wired shut. Nick, you've got more on that for us.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I actually caught up with Vince's family, and he said that it was that final injury, the jaw wired shut, caused him to lose a massive amount of weight and a serious amount of strength, that really is putting him behind this year. But they're confident not only is he going to come back in this competition, he's going to be back in years to come.
Yeah, Nikki, thank you. 30 pounds for Vincent Ramirez. The hip is the one he told Nikki this morning, too, still bugs him the most. Probably about 80-85%. What do you do when your jaw's wired shut, by the way? You ride a bike. Of course, see if that plays a factor in how he performs today. Event number 9 underway. It's the age group chipper and the deficit handstand push-ups. Let's talk about the deficit, why that word is important.
It's just something that I love to see in movement. Handstands we've seen a number of years throughout the open and competition here at the CrossFit Games. But just adding a little bit of a platform left and right just to ensure it's a little bit harder. The thing about tricep movements that these athletes have gone through, the muscle up, a massive tricep movement, we're going straight back to work on that. Now what I want to see with these guys is get those hands as close as they can to their bodies, get those elbows at about 45 degrees, keeping the order of the day, so kicking those legs up, using those hips as much as possible, sticking that head through. Really good position. Keep nice and straight as best you can.
Hand in the air to signify the last couple of deficit handstand push-ups. And speak of the devil, Vincent Ramirez out to deadlift first. Nathan Clifton, about 10 lanes away, is second, chasing Ramirez, and Dylan Cade right next to him. First 3 to deadlift, there's Clifton on the right. CrossFit Nixa in Nixa, Missouri. Clifton missed the games last year by 5 spots. His motivation, chasing down a games champ here early in a chipper.
Joel, you mentioned it about 2 minutes ago. Look at the outside lanes, top of screen. A number of athletes already starting those deadlifts. So it doesn't matter where you get seated. If it's in your wheelhouse, as these deadlifts are, you're going to move forward pretty quick. Setting that back very tight, because 40 deadlifts at this weight is nothing to sneeze at. They've got to do 20 in that first section, then roll it forward for 20 in the second section. And I'd like to see them, if possible, go unbroken in each of the sections of 20.
Clifton's hands Inside grip, outside grip. Preference?
My preference is exactly the way Clifton's holding it. It balances bar out really well. The problem with that is it doesn't increase your grip strength on the overhand hand as much. Sorry, the underhand. So if you're getting that double overhand grip, as you do with a clean front squat, all that sort of stuff, all that grip strength comes into play with those forearms.
Clifton is the first one to the bike erg. The Concept 2 machine. Vincent Ramirez will follow. Let's talk about this apparatus, because if you've been around CrossFit for a while, you know what an assault bike is. This is not that. The assault bike has the wind fan that you spin, the handlebars move as well. This is a little bit more like riding a true bike. You can lean into it, the handlebars stay stationary, they're not moving with you, but it's like a rower in that you have to get that fan moving. I got a chance to ride one right before we started here. First time I'd ever been on one. Same goes for you. It's different than what you would experience on an assault bike.
Big time. I jumped on. I'm still sweating from it because I did it about 15 minutes ago. I had to play around with the damper setting. So I did 5 calories at 10, 5 at 5, and 5 at 1, and very much like that road bike. And that 10, considering how much leg fatigue these athletes have gone through, no one is going to be sitting it on 10. So I would imagine that these athletes will have it around that 5 mark, but very dissimilar to the assault bikes where you've got your straps for your feet. Your feet are free, so you can't actually get that upward pull and get those hamstrings engaged at all. So you've got to be pushing down more as opposed to pulling up with that hamstring.
Clifton trying to find a place to put his hands. Dallin Pepper is your leader after 8 events. Dallin Pepper looks like he just started competing. I mean, the guy is cool as a cucumber. The picture of equanimity. Let's go down to Nikki.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. He actually seems to be pedaling down here on the floor a little bit faster than everyone. It seems like he's got a good clip, but you know what I learned earlier today? In addition to being just a fierce games competitor, Dallin's also like a picture-perfect older brother. He's one of 5, and all of his younger siblings not only want to be like him, they want to CrossFit like him. His parents dabble in it too, so it really is all in the family for the Peppers.
Might be the first of 5 Peppers to come through the teenage division.
I'll tell you what, this guy is the hot pepper. He is on fire at the moment.
On to the burpees. 50 cals done. That's Nathan Clifton. The cotton allergy is strong.
Very much so.
Getting rid of the green t-shirt. That's a lonely place. Not a bad place, but he's just doing burpees, looking around, and there's no one in sight.
But a great place to be, to look all the way down the age pavilion. Give yourself a little bit of breathing space if you need it.
He's got company. Vincent Ramirez began the day in 7th place. A 1st in the jump finish, a 9th in the open water swim. He finds himself in 4th now. Some 28 points out of a podium spot. He's a champ. He's dangerous. And he's about to pounce here. Clifton trying to hold him off. Ramirez has company. Dylan Cade, one of the Michigan 7. Those 17s from within 30 miles. All here at the games. Clifton still leading on the right. Ramirez, a glance over his shoulder on the left.
Funny, going back to event 7 when we were here this morning in the age pavilion, Vincent Ramirez was not the first to the box jump overs, but he got off first to come through with that event finish, and that was because of that spring in his step. We know he can move fast across objects. This is not too dissimilar, just a little bit lower to the ground.
It's the final of 4 movements in this chipper. 16-minute cap. We're well away from that. 30 deficit handstand push-ups, 40 deadlifts, a 50-calorie bike ride on the bike erg, a mechanism many of these athletes either haven't used or certainly don't use regularly. And then these bar-facing burpees. You have to face the bar, as the name indicates, jumping over the bar between each rep.
30 to get done in the first segment, 30 in the second segment. And what better way to finish an event with 60 grueling bar-facing burpees? It's going to test them.
You advance the bar after 30 burpees. So as you see the barbells rolling forward, it is a 2-foot takeoff as well, so you'll notice that as everyone sets their feet to jump, you can't just pop up and hop off 1 foot to clear the barbell.
Now, Dallin Pepper spoke to him this morning when we were in the warm-up area with him, and he did mention he would much prefer this to be a lot nastier and a lot longer, because he is going to outwork anybody this weekend, because he outworks everybody in training. And look how efficient he is getting that 2 feet jump, 2 feet land, and that quick drop straight to the ground. And that's going to make sure he catches Clifton and anyone else like Ramirez that is in front of him. But Pepper moving real quick.
There's a hand in the air for Nathan Clifton. He had a 3rd place finish in the handstand walk. This could be his first event win in 2 trips to the games. Nathan Clifton throws up a 1st place finish. Dallin Pepper, the outworker in chief, he's done. Comes from behind in 2nd place. He will maintain his overall lead. And Vincent Ramirez, somewhat surprisingly, fading on the burpees. As Dylan Cade, remember he was to the burpees after Ramirez, finishes ahead of him.
And Cade not doing so well in the swim event number 8 either. Coming in one of the last places out of the water, but coming in one of the top 3 spots. But those athletes that are built a lot shorter to the ground, finding this a little bit easier.
A chipper workout, the first one of the games for this teenage division. You complete all of your reps of one movement, you go on to the next, you never see the last one again. One at a time, you fight through. It's the definition of a chipper. Some people thrive in it in CrossFit. For many, it's the bane of their existence. Ramirez on his final few burpees. Hop the bar, and Vincent Ramirez is done. That's a 4th place finish on the 9th event for Vincent Ramirez. You can see some of those barbells still back. It's being rolled forward by Tyler Anderson in the middle of your screen. Advancing the barbell after your first 30 burpees.
Talking about staying close to the ground, Nick Toonsey, who did very well in the swim in the 1st place, staying close to the ground as well.
Gets himself a 5th place here. Toonsey has come on hot. Threw up a 3rd place yesterday, a 5th place, you mentioned, very well in the swim today. And all of a sudden, Toonsey began the event in 7th place. Eyes on the podium as he heads to Sunday. Stay low to the ground, get up high. The difference in that with the burpees, and what does it tell you when guys come up higher as they jump over the bar?
It's just a matter of leg fatigue. There's a number of athletes on the floor. Mayer doing a great job in staying close to the ground, and a bit of a stumble to get back over the ground. But the number of athletes that are left on the ground that are staying upright and jumping over the bar in that upright position, you are just delaying the inevitable pain. But you don't want to be doing this any longer than you have to be doing. So just get in, you've got to go and fight to that really dark place to get these 60 burpees done. It's not pleasant.
Where's your rest in a movement like this? Is it, do you take a quick breather when you pause on the ground? Is that where you can catch your breath if you're tired?
In an event like this, with your 60, your rest is between 30 and 31. When you're rolling that barbell forward, you've just got to go for it, because every second, every placing is going to count. This is a final. This isn't just a weekend competition. There are no heats here. We've got one heat of 20. It's a matter of who wants it.
Ethan Elwell began in 2nd place overall coming in, and that will be crushing to his chances at the podium. He'll have some work to do on Sunday, but a fantastic showing for Ethan Elwell this year in his first CrossFit Games.
Now look what Goodman's doing here from the ground up. Same with Poosh. They're bouncing off the ground, but just that delay in jumping over the bar, which is costing precious seconds. So that full stand-up, Anderson's got that happening at the moment.
Anderson finishes 6th place a year ago, but in the 14-15-year-old division. This is his first year in the 16-17-year-old division. Came in 6th place, but there is a jump there, and sometimes you take for granted the differences between the younger teenage division and the older teenage division. Weights go up, ages go up. You're the youngest now instead of the oldest.
I wish they looked like 16, 17-year-olds.
Yeah. They're about 16 going on 32.
So Goodman getting that great bounce off the ground still, but just that delay, that upright position and jump is just taking so much out of him.
And Goodman completes his work at the 13:29 mark.
And as you mentioned, looking 32 with a beard at 17. Okay.
Here's the thing about the teens, though, and this goes for every division in CrossFit, but look at the way they rally around each other. You get a bunch of teenagers together, they don't know each other, but they love CrossFit, and we've seen them bond, even on the training day when they went out and ran the battleground presented by the United States Marine Corps as a test run, and they just kind of chop it up with each other. You make new friends. The cool thing about this is they're meeting kids from around the world that they become friends with, and look at the gaggle of 8 or 9 of them that come over here to encourage the final guy to finish, Jake Carlisle.
Well, you got to think it's all an empathy factor. They're all feeling exactly the same thing. It's just a differing time domain. They've all just gone through this, so they know exactly what he's feeling. And he can't be feeling that well. But the camaraderie with especially these teenagers, you do find it with the older age divisions as well.
He is on his final 30 burpees. That barbell is advanced as far as it needs to go. And he has just 5 reps left. He will get in under the cap. That is 1 minute and 10 seconds away. Keep in mind, these are the 20 fittest teenagers in the world. A 20th place finish in this event, you're doing pretty darn good for yourself.
Well, I think he feels real good. But what an impressive performance.
Take a look at the first place finish in the career of Nathan Clifton.
What a great chipper to test these athletes on the back end of Saturday. A deficit handstand push-up. Just test that range of movement just a little bit more. Ramirez taking a very quick lead to get to the deadlifts first. Didn't waste a great deal of time on these. But then Clifton, those back end of those deadlifts, and onto the Concept 2 bike erg, and was way out in front of everybody else. Ramirez top of the screen, coming into play in second onto the bar-facing burpees. There was 60 of them to do, but Clifton did what he had to do, staying in front, having a look, make sure he's there, and absolutely pumped up for his first event win.
Nathan Clifton climbing the leaderboard, aiming for a podium, and he's down on the floor with Nikki.
So Nathan, we saw you pull ahead early and you maintain that lead the entire time through this chipper. What exactly about this event put it right in your wheelhouse?
Well, the whole month before the games, I was basically working on breaking through mental barriers. Like, hearing your body in pain, you just gotta not care and just keep going is what I had to do, basically, to keep doing that.
Now, we didn't catch up with you right after the swim event, but you did do that 500-meter swim. How did that go for you?
I did okay. I got 10th, and I've only been swimming for a few months, and I'm sink like a rock, but I thought I did okay, so.
It seemed like a fast learner. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Nathan Clifton, hey, 500 meters, you just learned how to swim, then you got to come inside and you win an event? Good afternoon.
But it's really good to see They're just adapting every single year. They're getting thrown different challenges every year at the CrossFit Games. Hey, I can't do something. Guess what? I'm going to go learn it. And then, boom, back it up with something probably more so in your wheelhouse, but not really what you see after 3 days of intense competition.
Nathan Clifton, a W. The day is done on Saturday for the 16 and 17-year-old boys. We are inside the age group pavilion at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin, the city of Four Lakes, where the teenage girls division, ages 16 and 17, just found out about those lakes. Event 8 was an open swim. Event 9, back inside for the age group chipper. Our friend from down under, Jeremy Austin, Nikki Brazier down on the floor. Joel Gannett, glad to have you along with us. The rest of our CrossFit crew here in Madison today. On to Event 9. Here's the standings for the teenagers 16 and 17. And while we were gone out at the lake, you will notice something atop the leaderboard. Haley Adams is missing 10 points. She was 7 for 7, 700 points on the first 7 events. Kayla Stefano got her. Snapped the streak of event wins on that swim. Adams came in second, so her streak for perfection comes to a close, but still a mighty fun weekend.
Great weekend today, but you did say it was going to be the equalizer coming in, but hey, it has happened now, so we can clean the slate now. Back to square one, sort of.
Now
Anyway.
she's just going for a game's win.
That's it.
It's good enough.
Event 9, 30 deficit handstand push-ups, 3 inches for the ladies, 40 deadlifts at 155, 50 calories on the Concept 2 bike erg right in front of you right there. And then to finish off, a lovely 60 bar-facing burpees, 30 in the first section, rolling the bar forward, and then 30 in the last. 16 minutes to get this work done.
Lane assignments, Haley Adams, your overall leader in lane 10. Chloe Smith is in third to her right. In lane 11, you will have Kayla Stefano, the two-time defending champion, but she trails by 174 points coming into the final event on moving day, the penultimate day here in the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. All right, let's talk about these two. Stefano having bested Adams in each of the last 2 games by a total of 26 points. 2018 is the year of Haley's revenge.
Oh, isn't it what? She has got that determined focus. Out of competition, she sort of bounces around the place a little bit, but when it's go time, and wow, what a change we've seen in Haley Adams.
10 seconds. Stand by.
Chippers are long and grueling, and we are underway for the next 16 minutes. 30 deficit handstand push-ups. A 3-inch deficit, Jeremy, as you said, to start things off. Why is the deficit painful?
Oh, you've just got a little bit more range of movement to get through. So normally your head will be sitting on the ground. So it's sort of more like a headstand push-up than a handstand push-up. But with that, a little bit of a deficit just makes it a little bit harder to get through. These ladies having no trouble, and a lot of them using that kipping movement. Those knees are going to come down towards those elbows, and they'll use that hip extension, really powerful hips, to propel their body forward, get their head through as best they can.
Stop it. Haley Adams just did 30 deficit handstand push-ups in about 34 seconds. Stefano is right behind her.
Stefano loves handstands, but that's obviously a weakness that Adams has been working on, especially after last year's event of Diane. Because she said a couple of days ago, she goes, when she saw that event, she goes, handstand push-ups.
That's what cost her.
Not so much this year.
That's what cost her. Adams led going into the final event last year, and Stefano got her, caught her, ran across the finish line, and you could hear it audibly. I just won the games. I just won the games. 116 in, the bar rolling forward for Haley Adams on these 40 deadlifts of 155 pounds.
You think about cycle rate. Haley Adams resting at the top position rather than on the ground. So she's getting that light touch of the barbell so she can remain under tension the entire time to get those hamstrings and glutes engaged, keeping the bar as close to your body as possible. Stefano just at the bottom of the screen in the white and blue, not looking as comfortable on the deadlift.
To credit Kayla Stefano for the fight she has had this weekend. The 7th and the 8th place finishes in events 2 and 3 were her lowest in her games career to start off this week, but she has come back strong as Adams gets up to the bike first. Stefano with a couple of second places in a row and then a first place finish in the swim. She is showing why she's the champ too. Not going down without a fight, but Haley Adams has just been a machine. This Concept 2 bike erg, much different than the assault bike, which is the more common biking contraption you will see in CrossFit. little bit easier to get the flywheel going on the erg than the assault bike, but it catches up to you.
Oh, it's way easier on the arms, I can tell you, because you're not using them. Now, I had to jump on the bike erg a while, probably about half an hour ago. So I tested out 15 calories, so 5 on the damp setting of 10, 5 on 5, 5 on 1. 5 was pretty good for me, but I only hit 15 calories in 30 seconds. And I had a reasonably good crack at it, but obviously my fitness is not where these girls are at. And they will get through this pretty easily. So don't expect them to spend more than about 2 minutes on the bike erg.
The killer on this event, at least what we saw on the boys division, was the bar-facing burpees. That's what eats up the vast majority of your time. A, you're doing more of them than anything else, but B, they are exhausting. You're going to see these ladies get through on the front end, this bike erg, and move on to the bar-facing burpees in about 5 minutes, if not less. Most of the field has now moved on to the bike erg. Still deadlifting the one who could possibly be the next daughter of CrossFit. Of course, Annie Thor's daughter, Catherine David's daughter, Sarah Sigmund's daughter, maybe Katla Bjork-Kettle's daughter, who came into the teenage division as the 17th seed this year. She's actually from the same box as Sarah Sigmund's daughter. Looks at Sarah as a role model from day one. Where has she gotten her most help? Endurance training. So we'll see how she does here once she gets on this bike erg apparatus. But it's cool when you see those people that are kind of celebrity status in CrossFit see someone like Katla Kettle's daughter and take them under their wing. And now that Sarah has her own personal gym, brings Katla over and says, hey, come work out with me sometimes. I'm going to train you so that we can get you into my shoes someday.
Come and do this. This is what I do. Try and keep up.
If it gives me lats like Sarah Sigmund's daughter, I'm good with it.
That's it.
Haley Adams, the first one onto those bar-facing burpees.
Well, previous age division with the 16 to 17-year-old boys, the ones that got through the burpees the fastest were the ones keeping their trajectory very low and bodies as low as they can to the ground and shifting that weight quickly. The ones that stood up to full extension to jump over the bar were the ones that went a little bit slower.
Chloe Smith has passed Stefano. She is the second one onto the bar-facing burpees. Down in lane 3, Sophia Grimmer. Talked about it all weekend. We continue to see people push from the outside lanes.
And Grimmer doing exactly what she's got to do and keeping that body low. Chloe Smith, who got to the barbell second, is standing almost to full extension. Stefano front of screen going very low, straight over that bar, which will increase the number of reps you can get done in the time frame. 30 in the first section, rolling the bar forward for 30 in the second section, but this is the place where they are going to hurt. If you want the championship, you've got to go get it.
I've heard a strength coach say, it's as simple as lay down, get up. That is an oversimplification. There is much more pain than that.
At a 200 beats per minute heart rate and a massive lung burn, and you're probably spot on.
Adams has the barbell rolled forward. Haley Adams won the first 7 events here at the CrossFit Games. She came in second in the open water swim, 790 points and a 174-point lead. For perspective, the most dominant CrossFit Games performance of all time in any division was just last year. Matt Fraser, go figure, topped Brent Fikowski by 216. She's in the ballpark.
Now, Adams seems to have sped up her rate, as has Stefano, with staying low to the ground. Stefano now battling Grimmer for that second place.
And if Grimmer gets in second place, that steals points from Stefano, which helps out Haley Adams' lead growth. That side pursuit of history. We're about to hit the 8-minute mark. The time cap for this event is 16 minutes. It's the age group chipper. 30 deficit handstand push-ups, 40 deadlifts, 50 cows on the bike erg, 60 bar-facing burpees, of which Haley Adams has a hand in the air. She is almost complete. The only hand in the air. Haley Adams is done. 8 wins in 9 events. Near perfection. It is 14 now career event wins for Haley Adams. And across all individual divisions,
she's in good company.
Oh my. Rich Froning, 16. Sean Ramirez, 15. Samantha Briggs, including her work in the Masters division here this week, 14. Haley Adams, 14. And then Iceland Annie, 13.
Crazy. Stefano ended up with her last 30 burpees, taking her just under 3 seconds a burpee. She has caught up massively to take that second spot away from Grimmer. 3 seconds for a burpee at the back end of 10 minutes.
Hands in the air, down in lanes 2 and 3 for Tessa Marquette and Sophia Grimmer. Also a hand in the air for Chloe Smith. Grimmer will get across with a third place finish that will tie for her best work at these 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. She was third in the yoke rope yesterday. Chloe Smith guts that one out. Smith is fourth. Still 6 minutes left with which to maneuver through these burpees. Everyone is onto them now. And just a couple of bars still have to move past the first 30. There's Erica Folo in lane 5. She's about to complete hers. Coached by a former Games athlete, Jason Bird, was in Carson back in 2009. Folo dives across with a 6th place finish. Jeremy, where are these young ladies at after what they went through this morning with the jump finish and then open water swimming 500 meters and the punishment they've taken already? Where are their legs at? Where are their arms at?
It all started with the dumbbell squats. So they had the 100 dumbbell squats, and then they've moved into a very taxing box jump over early this morning. And then we were out there at the boat ramp watching the swim, and the number of athletes that struggle to even walk up the ramp after swimming the 500 meters, most of them were barely out of a stumble to get over the finish line. So their legs must be absolutely ruined by now.
A lot of these athletes will do a recovery swim on Sunday. That's not what just happened this afternoon.
It won't be 500 meters.
Done in lane 4 with Serena Good. Diving over the finish line. Riley Cron in lane 19. Tori Dow, the Californian, trying to pick up some points here at the end. The one name that's critical to watch that's still out there is Devin Kim. Luisa Marquez in lane 7. There's Devin Kim. Entered the event in 3rd place overall in a podium spot with 448 points. 22 points ahead of Chloe Smith, who just mashed this event. Smith came in fourth. So Devin Kim is going to be tooth and nailing for a podium spot come tomorrow, the final day. And Devin Kim is one of those names to watch. This is going to be a fun division next year between two 17-year-olds, Chloe Smith and Devin Kim.
And both ladies fairly tall in stature as well. Myra Drabicki coming over. She's one of those taller athletes as well. So the taller the athlete, the greater the range of movement. You've got to move your body.
Kim second place last year in the younger division. Smith was the winner.
13 minutes in, 3 minutes to go, ladies.
She's 5'6". That's not short for a 16-year-old, and she is all out. These young ladies just bunked after 3 events today. Annalise Moore finishing, and the next daughter in lane 17 is through. In lane 1, Emiliana Juara still working. Haley Adams has a breather. Here's the thing, 16-minute time cap. So it's not like there's any mercy right now. Emiliana's got all day to...
You've got to finish.
Yeah.
And you're at the point where you're this far in that you don't want to stop. Especially when you've got a whole crowd of girls around you, your support crew that are also your competitors.
One of the great young names from a growing sport in Latin America. Brazil has the most boxes now across the world outside of the United States. Latin America is going to produce some names in the coming years. Emiliana hailing from Caracas in Venezuela. Saw Luis Oscar Mora come in fourth a couple of years ago. Guilherme Matieros and Emiliana Juara carrying that Latin America flag. But it's Haley Adams who took the leader's flag on day 1 and not only has held on to it, but has run away with it.
When the event started, we blinked and we missed the handstand push-ups. It was just lightning at these girls. Both Adams and Stefano, we know that Stefano's got great handstands, but Adams beat her to the deadlifts, and once she got onto those deads, left them for dead, and then onto the bike. Pretty cruisy, just rocking it on, and pretty much recovering, if you can call it recovering, on a bike erg. But once she got to the deadlifts, the first 30 were nice and controlled. The second 30, she ramped it up, and another event win. Incredible performance from Haley Adams.
I'm not sure what else she can tell Nikki, but we're going to find out.
No, you make a good point. We've been chatting a lot because you keep winning these events, which is great. This is a little bit of a different test that we've seen so far. Haven't seen as much of a long, kind of grindy workout. How do you feel in general about the chipper?
So those workouts for sure favor me. That's why I knew I could win this event. I'm really good at deadlifts, handstand push-ups, bike. So I knew this was an event in my wheelhouse. So
now you got a near perfect record. Did not come first in the swim. We were not there to see you, but we were physically there to watch you cross the finish line. I mean, what went wrong there?
my coach told me to get out on the side and not get caught in the clump. Got caught in the clump, and there's nothing I could do about it. So I'm so happy with it. I've never started like that before, so it was great.
Nice job here today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no one has ever started like that before.
Yeah, we don't know what to do either. Oh,
Haley Adams, first place, another
Again.
100 points.
like it's just a reoccurring theme right across the weekend. A little bit of a, you can call it a glitch with the swim.
Don't get clumped.
They don't get clumped ever. You'll only get 90 points instead of 100. But she's just dominating this field of the 16-17 girls.
I love seeing the other names, though. Sophia Grimmer, Tessa Marquette, Erica Polo, Ellie Kerstetter. Love seeing some other people earn themselves some points.
Well, Marquette getting that third place finish in the swim as well. So 3rd and 5 in the last 2 events. That's great for Tessa Marquette.
Done with the teens here on Saturday. Moving day is over. Sunday's all that remains. On to the Masters in the age group pavilion. Stick with us next.